Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan, and here we are with another Monday strategy stream. Obviously, no games on today, so we are starting at 6 o'clock. That's going to be the case every week. If there's games on, I'll start at 10 p.m. GMT. If there's no games on, it'll be 6 p.m. GMT, and that's how we're going to do it. Guys, I'm not going to be streaming for the full hour today because I'm not feeling 100%. I'm a little bit sneezy at the moment, which you'll find out in a minute when I sneeze. And yeah, my throat is not 100% there. So if I do sound a bit weird today, hopefully I'll sound a little bit more normal tomorrow. But yeah, I thought we'd still do a little stream. Just so we can have a little catch up and you can have a look at how I am getting on. I do need to update some things on screen, namely my rank. Here we are. Let's do this now. We'll do the big reveal. It's pretty good, guys. It's very good, in fact. Yeah, hopefully you guys are pretty pretty impressed by that one. Gameweek points as well was 71. There we go. So, guys, we are at an all-time high rank of 2,903. Another amazing score. Yeah, absolutely insane. Again, smashing it again. Everyone's coming through. Well, most people are coming through. I know Ben Rama was a bit of a disappointment this week, wasn't he? We all expected him to get a little bit more out of that game. Everyone was buying him. But yes. But yeah, a pretty good score across the board. The Wilson captain worked out. Salah kind of proves why you never really sell Salah, because I know Chelsea wasn't an amazing game for Salah, but he always had that possibility of scoring, any kind of goal really. Whether that was going to be a penalty, whether that was going to be a random tap in, or when you're a player like Salah, you have so many opportunities to score, and you are going to even score against the big teams. It happens, and that's why you just keep a player like Salah in your team. And now that Salah's got some amazing fixtures, I know a lot of people have sold him. And now you're going to miss out on Leeds next. Leeds haven't looked very good defensively, have they? Crystal Palace after that, then Brentford. So we've got some really nice fixtures coming up for Mo Salah that we're going to want to captain him for as well. So Salah is a must-have. Bruno's been a little bit disappointing for a couple of games in a row now. 2 blanks in a row. It's not great, right? It's not great. Danny Ings, I think, has been a little bit disappointing so far since he's joined Aston Villa. I think we're all in agreement that it might be time to sell Danny Ings. So, looking at his fixtures now, Chelsea next, and then Everton, Manchester United, Spurs, Wolves, Arsenal, West Ham. It's not a great look there. Really not a great look, particularly as Aston Villa have not looked particularly amazing. I think they've been one of the disappointments of the season so far, to be fair. And Callum Wilson is just an absolute beast when fit. Is he going to be fit for next week? Well, luckily, next game week is 2 weeks away. So he's got a little bit of time to recover from this thigh injury that he's got. He did get withdrawn. He played with an injury, because he thought, well, I might be able to nick a goal in this game. I'd like to play on through with my injury. He played, he got his goal, and then he went off. So it's very early to say whether he's going to be playing in game week 4 or not. But the good thing is that we do have so much time to find out, so much time for him to recover, so much time to see if he can get back to training. And we know if Wilson is ready to go, he is going to be playing. So that's really nice. There are a few concerns in this team. And the biggest concern, I guess it's Leeds, really. Luke Ayling and Leeds defence. I know they have these amazing fixtures, but I don't know how many of these fixtures they're actually going to get clean sheets in. I don't know. Watford at home, maybe you'd say, is a clean sheetable game. Wolves at home, maybe, if Wolves continue to kind of be lacking in their finishing a little bit. Although Wolves very unlucky not to get something against Manchester United at the weekend. I don't know. I'm not fully convinced by this pick that I went for. So yeah, luckily we have got Duffy, who I do think is keeping his place so far. Veltman obviously gave away a penalty, so if anyone's on the naughty list, it's probably Veltman and not Duffy in terms of Brighton defenders. Even so, maybe Veltman plays as a right wing back and Duffy keeps his place as centre back as well. And it's, Dunk, Webster and Duffy as the defensive three for Brighton. I can see that happening. Brentford's going to be a nice game for them. So, yeah, if we're talking about next week, Duffy's going to come in for Ayling. And as I continue to wonder when Ayling is going to get some points. I know he's scored, but no clean sheets yet for Leeds. I really thought they would step it up a little bit. One sec. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sneezing. I wonder if I'm allergic to something or, caught cold or something. Rapid test needed, perhaps. That's no problem. So, guys, basically, we are left with a team that continues to perform, and I've really not got massive amounts to worry about. If we go on to pick... Oh, that's me clicking on the wrong things here. If we go on pick team... Obviously, Ayling moves to the bench because we've got Duffy against Brentford. Everyone's got pretty good fixtures. Other than Wilson, I suppose. Danny Ings... Right, I've said enough times that Danny Ings is going to be sold by me this game week. Oh my god, I dropped my phone on the floor. Maybe I shouldn't have streamed today. Maybe I should have taken a day off. No, I want to stream. I want to go on. Right. So yeah, Ings, he's going to be, he's definitely going to be removed from this team. That was always going to happen, even if he played really well, and he hasn't played amazingly, I don't think. In terms of FPL assets, I hope for a little bit more positive signs, and Chelsea are just such defensive beasts. The only goal they've conceded so far has been that Salah penalty. And, aside from that, they're not even really conceding many chances at all. Certainly not big chances. So, yeah, it's going to be really difficult for anyone to get goals against Chelsea this year. I think they're going to 1-0 their way to the Premier League title. I really wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. So, Ings is going to go. We've spoken about it sort of on, was it Friday's stream? Maybe Friday? That I am going to be looking to go in on Ronaldo straight away. I don't really see the issue with doing that. I quite like the idea of going in for Ronaldo straight away. So it's going to be looking something a little bit like this. So Ings is going to be removed. Bruno Fernandes, quite frankly, is just not going to be worth his salt. It's not going to be worth 12 million. When as soon as Ronaldo's there taking penalties and free kicks, and especially when we look at the last couple of performances from Bruno, it's not that he's been a bad player, but it's been the Greenwood show in terms of those goal scoring opportunities, hasn't it? Since Gameweek 2, Gameweek 3. I know he did very well in Gameweek 1, but he hasn't really shown that that's very likely to repeat. Although I'm sure it will repeat at some point in the season or another. But it doesn't look like it's going to repeat straight away. So Bruno's obviously going to be leaving my team as well, and then it's going to be it's really difficult to put Ronaldo in because there is no Ronaldo, right? So how do I put Ronaldo in my team? I don't. But this is what I'm thinking. We're going to put in Kane as the Ronaldo placeholder because I do think 12.5 million. That's kind of going to be the price that we're going to be looking at. That's going to be the price that we're going to be looking at there for Ronaldo, roughly somewhere between 12.5, 13 million, I would imagine. So we use Kane as a placeholder. I'm not actually going to put in Kane. Don't worry about that. I've just shoved that. That's in fact. Let's just not have a player there. Just assume that place is Ronaldo, and then we're going to put in, if I can find the lovely man himself, we're going to put in Ferran Torres because it doesn't look like Man City are going to buy a striker. And what's amazing is it doesn't look like Man City are going to buy a striker. It doesn't look like Gabriel Jesus is considered a striker anymore because he's been playing on the wing and playing really well on the wing as well. And Torres is considered the main striker there. And if they've not got any other strikers and they're going to use Torres as the main striker, and to be fair, he's got a good record there. I really like that. 7.1 million for the Manchester City striker and he's out of position. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really. So for that, we'll just have Torres in there. You can see up here, I've got 13.4 million in the bank, which allows Danny Ings to be Ronaldo. A few people will probably be thinking, what about Greenwood? What's going on with Greenwood? Is he going to get drops? I don't think so. So we look at the Manchester United team that played on Wolves on Sunday. It was it was Sancho on the left. It was Greenwood as the striker. It was Dan James on the right. So there was a front three of Sancho playing on the left, Greenwood in the middle, and Dan James on the right. So when Cavani comes onto the pitch, it's Sancho on the left, Cavani as a striker, and Greenwood on the right. This all kind of just suggests to me that actually, as long as Rashford is out of the team, he's not going to be back for a couple of months still, we're going to be seeing a formation where we've got Sancho, Ronaldo, and Greenwood as the front three. To me, that seems like that is Manchester United's best front three at the moment. I mean, there's argument to say that maybe Pogba should be playing at left wing instead of Sancho, but with McTominay out, the Fred and Pogba midfield might be the one. So it does really seem to me like Greenwood is not going to get dropped. He's not going to lose his place. I think he's going to continue to play, and while he's on this kind of form, they're not going to want to take him out, are they? They're not going to want to take him out. But yes, it should be fine. There will be probably a little bit of rotation for Greenwood, maybe when UCL comes around. But for 7.5 million, a player who's playing this well, a player with this finishing ability, who's he's been the top. Has he been the top point scorer for Manchester United so far this season? I'm pretty sure he has been. I can't think of another one off the top of my head who scored more points. I don't think anyone has. I mean, he's outscored Bruno, hasn't he? Yeah, top scorer. Yeah. Goes Greenwood, Fernandes, and then Pogba. And no one else really getting close after that. So Greenwood's been a beast. Absolutely fantastic. I don't see him dropping out of the team. I'm sure some people might have some different opinions on that. But I don't think that Greenwood is going to get dropped, especially not immediately. When Rashford comes back, Greenwood it's going to be very difficult to keep Greenwood in the team, and I'm kind of going back on myself a little bit because on Friday I was a little bit worried about Greenwood, but now having seen that Manchester United lineup and the formation they played with and where everyone played against Wolves, I've kind of changed my mind a little bit. And I think the problem was before is we always assumed Sancho has been brought in as a right wing. He's only going to play right wing. There's no chance of him going over to the left. I've always assumed, well, Pogba is going to be playing as a left winger for now. But that's not what happened. Neither of those things happened. So it shows that United are flexible and they're wanting to be flexible. And it seemed to me that the lineup they played against Wolves was to preempt accommodating Greenwood into that team, into that front three, if you like. So absolutely fantastic stuff. As for Torres, I think he's a really good option as well. So that's what we would be doing, because obviously I've got 2 transfers anyway, 13.4 in the bank there to put Ronaldo in there, and we do something like that, and that would look pretty good for the next game week. The only, if I go back to pick teams, then you'll kind of see that everyone would have a really good fixture. Everyone in my entire team, other than Wilson, assuming he's fit. Now, the one last thing I would maybe consider doing, and depending on Ronaldo's price as well, is also moving Wilson up to DCL. It depends on DCL's fitness as well, I suppose, but he seems pretty good now, doesn't he? So I would potentially be moving Wilson on if it turns out that it doesn't look good, and that would be taking a -4. But I'm not really too bothered about that, to be honest. I did want DCL this week anyway, and if it wasn't for Ronaldo coming to the Premier League, my transfer move would have been Ings to DCL. That was always the plan. Plans change very quickly, don't they, in FPL, when new things get announced. So yeah, I've always wanted DCL this week anyway. FPL Phillips here says, how about Jota if Firmino is out, Dan? Yeah, Jota looks good. Really good every time he plays. He's frustrating when you don't own him, in the sense that he's quite a greedy player, I feel. And I think when he's playing, your Salahs and your Manes perhaps suffer a little bit because of it. But when you have a greedy player in your fantasy team, that's exactly what you want. You want your player to shoot, take on shots, have that confidence, and that's exactly what Jota's got. So he's a really good. He's obviously a really good pick, particularly with Firmino, going to be out. That's going to be very nice, and there's definitely consideration. Especially if you manage to get out Tsimikas last game week. If you've still got Tsimikas, then you might have a little bit of a problem here. But if you're wanting to remove Fernandes and you don't quite fancy Torres, Jota is also a very good shout. And And like I said a little bit earlier, Liverpool have some really nice fixtures. Leeds away, and like it does seem like Leeds is perhaps a slightly easier fixture than we thought it would be. I know they've put it as a 3 fixture difficulty rater or a grey fixture on the FPL website, but I don't think it's actually that tough from what we've seen so far. And then Palace, Brentford, a cracking pair of fixtures. Man City after that, so going to be a little bit tough, and perhaps we wouldn't want to be tripled up on Liverpool by that point, but that's a long way away, isn't it? And perhaps we'd even be talking about using our wildcards in Game Week 7 anyway, particularly if you're not using your wildcard already. If you had 3 Liverpool players by Game Week 7, easy peasy, you just wildcard some of these Liverpool players out. That's exactly what I'd be looking to do. And I probably am going to be wildcarding in Game Week 7, to be fair. I'm going to try and hold off until then. Because that's going to be a really, really big advantage, I think, if I can wait until that long, because so many fixtures swing. Liverpool's get worse, Manchester United's gets worse, Chelsea's get amazing. I know a few people I can see in the chat, you've already activated your wildcard. I am going to try and do some wildcard related videos in the next couple of weeks before we hit the Game Week 4 deadline to try and help you out on what kind of players I would personally put in your wildcard. I'll start you off with my ideal wildcard front 3. And this is what I do. I would start with this and work backwards. If I was on a wildcard right now, I would have Cristiano Ronaldo, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Antonio as my 3 forwards. There is nothing I would do any differently to that. It would be those 3. I would have to do those 3. If I was on a wildcard, those would be my 3 forwards. And then I would play a 3-4-3 formation, but I'd work backwards from there. Probably have Salah in there. We keep Trent Alexander-Arnold for the next 3 game weeks. At least. So yeah, that's kind of what I'd be thinking on a wildcard. But I'm gonna make a full wildcard draft. I've been tinkering with one so far of what I would do if I was to play the wildcard. I'm not gonna do it. But what I'm really waiting for is Ronaldo's price to be revealed. I'm waiting for the Ronaldo deal to be tidied up, finished, and I want a Ronaldo price, because as soon as I get the Ronaldo price, I can start thinking about, or actually, making recommendations of how we're going to use him in our FPL teams, because I think he's going to have to be in every wildcard team. I think he's going to have to be one of the highest on the priority transfer list. Buy, sell, keep, avoid. What's Ronaldo going to be? He's going to be a buy. And I think he's going to play against Newcastle. I think he's going to come in straight away. I don't see why he wouldn't. So there we go. Obviously, there's people are talking about some differentials and stuff like that. I think it's a little bit early to think about differentials. The only, I guess, differential that I really would be considering right now is Demi Gray at Everton. I think it's 5.5 million, and he's selected by 3.1%. He's looked really good so far. Really, really good for Everton so far. So I would definitely be considering him for your fantasy teams, without a doubt. Particularly if you're trying to do something where you're squeezing in Lukaku, Ronaldo, and Salah. If you're, and I know a few of you guys will be trying to do that. A lot of you guys loving Lukaku as well. Then you are going to have to pick up players like Demi Gray. I am sure a few of you guys you're talking about Adama Traore. I don't know, can't finish, so I don't know. Yeah, someone says, did you get my super chat? No, I've not had any super chats come up yet. No super chats. Is Torres worth it, or is he an avoid? Well, like I kind of been saying, I like the look of Torres. I don't think he's an avoid. I certainly don't think he's an avoid. I think, if you can keep playing, and that's always the difficulty with Manchester City players. How frequently is he going to play? I hope very frequently. Fouls Rian says, does Tsimikas play in Game Week 4? I think we need to give up on that one, I'm afraid, guys. Yeah, Tsimikas is done. Plays, he says, Damari Gray. Yeah, his nickname is Demi, though. Everyone calls him Demi Gray. Dan Cross says, I'm not seeing any super chats either. Yeah. Keep or sell Sancho. I think it's difficult to justify keeping Sancho, to be honest, at this point. because he's a lot of money. Isn't it too early to go to Ronaldo? I don't think so. I don't think it is too early to go for Ronaldo. You know, he's fully fit. It's not like, you know, a lot of the other players we've seen coming into this Premier League season, and they've not even been fit, and we've been happy to go for them. We've got players like Harvey Barnes, who it seemed like everyone went for Harvey Barnes, knowing that he wasn't even fit to start the season. Or, you know, who else has not been fit to start the season and people have gone for anyway? I don't know. There's been a few players who have not been fully fit and people have been more than willing to put straight into their fantasy teams. You know, for Ronaldo, a fully fit player who's got weeks to, you know, integrate with the team. He has Premier League experience already. He's a model professional. Playing against Newcastle at home, he's going to want to make his debut at home, you know. There's so many signs that make me feel pretty positive about Ronaldo. And also, at the same time, I'm not too worried about taking the risk on that, because the risk is not really that deep. You know, what's the upside? Ronaldo could easily score a hat-trick in that game. If Ronaldo turned up at Old Trafford and scored a hat-trick against Newcastle, no one would be surprised. No one would be surprised. So, yeah, I really don't see the issue. I don't think I would be wanting to take, you know, people are talking about taking -8s for Ronaldo's. I'm not sure about this. People asking about Greenwood. Yeah, he's still a really good option. Would I be taking a -8 for Ronaldo? Probably not, no. No, not if I could spread it out and do it with no hits over, or just one hit over a couple of game weeks, because I don't think it's essential to go with straight away. I just would quite like to do it. I'd like to stay ahead of the template, really. I'd like to stay a little bit ahead of the game, because the great thing is I've got 2 transfers banked. I've got a good rank, and whilst a lot of other people would be perhaps been trying to catch up with my team, I can actually start getting ahead, and that's what I want to do. I want to keep ahead of the template rather than, you know, I mean, what else am I going to do? Well, my other option is to bring in like a Calvert-Lewin or someone. Just do maybe Ings straight to Calvert-Lewin or something like that. A bit boring. I mean, it's a possibility. Look, we've got weeks, really. I'm not going to pull the trigger on these transfers anytime soon. If we get news that, like I say, if Wilson's not fit, then that's going to change my plans. If Ronaldo, it turns out okay, and that, you know, literally Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes an announcement, yeah, Ronaldo's not going to be playing the first game against Newcastle, but we're going to see, you know, for the next game, who might play the next game. Or they say he's going to be on the bench, or he's not quite ready, or whatever. If that's the case, then yeah, no, I will not be getting in Ronaldo. I'm not going to wildcard. I don't need to do that. Yeah, so let's just wait. Let's just wait and see. A few people were asking about Ronaldo's price. I would say about 12.5, 13 million is probably what it's going to be. He's going to be a forward as well, almost certainly, because he's just been playing as a forward for the last year, so it makes sense. People are suggesting some really random players. John Robbo here says, as a Newcastle fan, I'm seriously considering Ronaldo. Well, Newcastle, unfortunately, have been one of the weaker defences in the league so far this season. Yeah, it's not looking good. They're kind of down there with Arsenal as one of the weakest teams, unfortunately. People still asking about Greenwood. No, he's staying. I know I said on Twitter a couple of days ago that I wanted to remove him, but I've kind of changed my mind on that one when I saw the way Man United lined up. I would quite like to keep Greenwood now. I think there's a place for him in this Manchester United team with or without Ronaldo, to be honest. Clean9 says, why are you so sure about Torres? I'm not so sure about Torres. I don't think you can be so sure about a Manchester City player, but you know, you get the right Man City player and you're laughing, aren't you? Ronaldo was getting 7, Cavani getting 21. Yeah, right. Jota looks good, yes. Ings out, yes. Will Duffy play? I think he will, yes. I at least hope he plays. I think he's got at least one more game week in him, and I'm hoping that he nails his place long term, but we'll see. We'll see. But I do think Duffy will play, which is why I'm pretty happy to play him against Brentford. It's why I brought him in, to be honest, because if I brought I know a lot of people went for Livramento, but if I did have Livramento, he would be on my bench this week, and he wouldn't be any use to me. Duffy is a pretty useful player, because if he plays, I'd quite like to play him against Brentford whilst Ayling plays against Liverpool, and I can leave Ayling against Liverpool on the bench. It's nice. Very nice. Pookie versus Arsenal. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think I'll be going for any Pookies or anything like that. Honestly, the forward line that you guys want to strive towards right now is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, DCL, and Antonio. Those are the three forwards that you want to build towards in your team. Let's see. Let's see how quickly we can all get to that template. But I think that's going to be the template 3 forwards. I know people will come in with some nice differential options like Jimenez and Bamford. Leeds not look that good yet. Wolves don't look like they could finish anything. They have had plenty of chances as well, and they've been a little bit disappointing so far. Antonio's been on absolute fire. DCL now on penalties. He's been looking really good. Even his non-penalty expected goals is pretty good as well. One of the best of the strikers. And Cristiano Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's going to be an amazing pick as well. So build towards those 3. I know a few of you guys will be saying Bamford, Jimenez, If you want to take those risks, that's on you. Those are not the players I'll be looking at. A few people saying Lukaku as well. Not interested. I won't be going near Lukaku until game week 7. I just don't want to do that. I don't feel like Lukaku is I don't think he's a must-have player in the fixtures. I mean, let's look at the fixtures that Chelsea have. Lukaku has typically, in the past, been a smaller game player-ish. And when you look at these fixtures, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Man City, and the next 3, it doesn't fill me with joy. And I feel like, yes, Lukaku might score 1 or 2 goals in that 3-game period, and that'll be absolutely fantastic. But how likely is he to outscore the likes of Antonio, DCL, and Cristiano Ronaldo? I think all 3 of those players outscore Lukaku, and for that very reason, there's no reason to have Lukaku. When we get to Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley, on the other hand, Lukaku is going to outscore all of those players, right? And that'll be a point where I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go for a Lukaku. But if you prefer Lukaku, then fair enough. But, in the 2 games so far, he's bullied Arsenal, the weakest defence in the league so far. Defence absolutely, no one's fit. Mari is just not. He just gets bullied by everyone. And he scored 1 goal there in the second game against Liverpool. And fair enough, he got a few chances against Arsenal, but I don't think this serves as evidence that Lukaku is going to bang 3 goals against each of these next 3 big teams. Do you really think that Lukaku is going to score as many as 3 and 3 against Aston Villa, Spurs and Man City? I don't think he gets 3 and 3, whereas Ronaldo will get... I could see him getting 3 and 1. I could see him getting 3 in his first game against Newcastle. But if you have a different opinion, that's completely fair enough. Particularly if you're like a Chelsea fan or something and you really, really like... just want to enjoy having Lukaku in your team, then I absolutely completely understand that. Gabriel Jesus thoughts? He's playing pretty well, but he's playing as a winger and he's listed as a striker. I don't know. There's consideration there. I feel like with Gabriel Jesus, there's other players around his price that I prefer. If you're talking about premiums, then we're looking at Ronaldo and Lukaku. Even DCL is just over 8 million. Not that much less than Jesus that I prefer. So, yeah. Do you think Ben White is fit for the next game? I mean, hopefully. So a few people are asking about wildcards and hits and stuff. This is... Okay, right. I'm going to give a really... This is such a difficult question because everyone's situation is going to be different. There is no right answer to should I wildcard or not. There's no right answer to should I take a -8 or not, because it really does depend on your specific situation. And there's, 1,700 of you watching and I can't answer every single one of you. It's difficult. Well, let's do the super chat really quickly. So, Pratyush, thank you for becoming a member. And XRDC says, I know you don't change them, but any goalkeeper suggestions? If I was on a wild card, I would still be on Sanchez. I wouldn't change that. I'd still be happy with Sanchez. I wouldn't be removing him. So yeah, but you know, unless you're on a wild card, I still wouldn't recommend you transfer a goalkeeper. It's not going to be worth it. But anyway, back on the topic of -8s and wildcards. Thank you very much for the super chat and the membership, by the way. It depends how bad your team is. You know, if you've realised you completely hate your team and you've made a real mess of it and you're thinking, oh God, what have I done? I just want to start afresh. I want to start again. If you just want to start again, then hit the wildcard button. If your team is really that bad. If you have, you know, 3 players you really don't like, or 2 or 3 players you really don't like in your team, but you actually quite like the look of the rest of them. You actually quite like them. Or at least you don't mind them. Then perhaps take a -4, take a -8. If you can fix your entire team and create a team that you really like with a -8, then absolutely do that. If you, but you know, if you actually quite like your team, you know, for example, I've got a player like, and this is a good example. So I've got a player like Wilson in my team, and let's assume Wilson is fit. We've got another super chat in here. It's from Raj Gawankar. Rafinha and Jimenez or Bamford and Traore, which combination is better? Probably Rafinha and Jimenez. Probably the better combo, maybe. Difficult one though. I wouldn't really be going for either of those combos though. I'd be going for Rafinha and DCL or something like that instead. Or Rafinha and Antonio. But anyway. You know, for example, in my team, we've got Wilson. Assume Wilson is fit. Now, Wilson is playing against Manchester United away. That's not a great fixture, right? I would prefer to have DCL. If I had unlimited transfers, you know, I could make as many transfers as I want. I'd do the switch, Wilson to DCL, nice and easy. But, and you know, even if I had 1 free transfers and no other problems in my team, Wilson to DCL, that's not a bad transfer, right? But when we're talking about taking -4s and -8s for a transfer like that, I would absolutely never do it. Because although, yes, Wilson has got Manchester United away, it's not an ideal fixture, right? After that, he's got quite nice fixtures. So if I'm thinking about over the course of the next 3, 4, 5 game weeks, 6 game weeks, actually, Wilson's not a bad player to have. Do I really want to use a transfer? I know it's not looking great this time, but slightly longer term, it's actually not a bad player to have in your team. So is that a priority transfer? No, it's not a priority transfer. Is it a -4 worthy transfer? Absolutely not. Definitely not a -4 worthy transfer. You know, Ings against Chelsea and then all these other horrible fixtures, maybe more, is a little bit more of a -4 transfer because we know that over the course of the next 5 game weeks, 6 game weeks, whatever, you could probably say with a great deal of confidence the DCL is going to outscore Ings by more than 4 points. And it's slightly more complicated than in reality, but I do want to try and simplify it. That becomes worth it. That becomes worth taking a -4 for. If you want to restructure your team, and the only way you can do it is with a -4 or a -8, then again, maybe you would consider doing that. As long as you massively prefer the new players to the old players, it becomes worth it. But if it's just like, oh yeah, okay, it'd be nice to have DCL instead of Wilson, but I don't need it, then that is not sort of the minuses that I want to be taking. You know, or you know, people were talking about Jimenez as well. Would I do Wilson to Jimenez for a -4? No way. I don't think there's going to be that much difference in there's the two of them scores. You know. Same with a player like Bamford. Although Bamford could be kind of interesting, but he got very lucky with his only goal so far this season, let's be real. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you want to take a -4, you want to take a -8, and you feel like your team could be massively improved by doing that, then do it. Some people want to see my bench. If it's going to take a wild card it's going to be the only thing to fix your team, then do it. Definitely don't go into -12s. As soon as you're taking a -12, just hit the wildcard button. But also try and be a little bit patient and don't make panic decisions. You know, there are many players that you might think you've got to get rid of out of your team, but you absolutely don't. Players like, you know, Greenwood, Wilson. I don't know who else you guys have got. in your team. I don't know who are the most popular players. Let's have a look. Sort by team selected by. Well, actually, no. Let's just sort by. I like doing this. I like going transfers out. Yes, Simicast, Ings, Martinez, James, must-sells. So, yeah, these are players you would consider taking a wild card or a -4 to remove from your team. Players like Luke Shaw, on the other hand, not really worth taking a -4. Pogba, not worth taking a -4. Tony, who do Brentford play next? Oh, I know what it is. It's Brighton. Probably not worth taking a -4. So many players not worth taking a -4 for. There are some that are, but a lot that aren't. So try and have a little bit of patience with some of your players if you don't think they're too bad. I know we all want the perfect team all the time, but it's not really possible. And if your team really is that bad and you hate it that much, it's wildcard time. That's when you know it's wildcard time. But if you can, I think if you can save your wildcard for game week 7, I think you're going to be in a pretty good position. Because there is that huge fixture swing. Chelsea's fixtures look immaculate. Liverpool and Manchester United fixtures, who, me personally, I've got 5. I've got 2 Liverpool, I've got 3 Manchester United. At game week 7, I'm not going to want to be tripled up on both of those teams, no way. So it's a good time for a wild card, and I'm going to want some Chelsea players. I'm probably going to want to get Lukaku. I'm definitely going to want some Chelsea defenders, aren't I? So yeah, there we go. But yeah, Lukaku is going to be the main sacrifice from this team this week because it's just so obvious. And hopefully we can get Ronaldo's price and some confirmation or some good news about whether he's going to play in game week 4, and we can do that. But anyway, guys, like I said, I wasn't going to do too long of a stream because I am not feeling 100% today. I'm not feeling like ill. I'm not dying or anything like that. But I am feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm not going to go on too long, and I've obviously got a lot of videos to make. I should warn you guys, because I'm getting married on Friday and then going away for a few days after that, it's going to be a weird couple of weeks for uploads. So the upload schedule is going to be a little bit all over the place. It's not going to be perfect, and honestly, if I'm completely honest, some of the videos might be a little bit more rushed than usual. So if I do kind of cut some corners with graphics and stuff, you'll know why. It's just because this is the build-up to my weddings, and I'm going to be away as well. But we're going to try and I'll try and do my best to make sure we've got all the main content covered over the international break. And the good thing is, it is the international break, so we don't need content every day over the international break. There's probably not enough content to put out every day over the international break without me just repeating myself over and over again, kind of thing. But we'll make sure we do buy, sell, keep, avoid. We'll make sure we do a team selection, obviously. I'm going to do a wildcard draft over the next couple of weeks, so you guys have got an example of what I would personally do if I was on a wildcard, and maybe that helps you, not just if you're on a wildcard yourself, but also if you are looking to build towards a certain team. You can kind of see what I would do, what team I would personally be building towards, and to be fair, what team I am building towards as well. So yeah, we'll do that as well. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the 100 experts video this week, or this game week, just because that video is a lot of work. That's sort of, a full 2 days work. So yeah, we'll see. Thanks for all the guys, congratulating me. I really, really appreciate that. I'll make sure I post some pictures and stuff on Twitter, Instagram, and maybe on YouTube as well. We'll post some pictures, and maybe we'll get Mrs. FPL Mate on the channel as well. That could be pretty funny. A few people asked me to live stream the wedding. Won't be doing that. But yes, it's going to be a weird couple of game weeks, a couple of weeks in terms of content. But we'll try our best to get you as much stuff as possible, and then from game week 4 to 5 onwards, we're going to go back to normal. Everything's going to be back to normal, regular, proper content. Don't worry. But there you go, guys. That's pretty much it, guys. But please make sure you like the video before you leave. I would really massively appreciate that. Like the stream if you're watching live as well. Subscribe if you're new around here. I would massively appreciate that. Hopefully, my tips so far this season are helping. It seems like we are managing to help a lot of people, which is fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of you guys with some fantastic ranks, so hopefully we can help you continue to smash all of your mates in your mini leagues. We absolutely love it. And guys, I'll see you again slightly later on in the week. We'll try and make sure we'll do another stream before the wedding. I'll probably try and do a stream on Thursday or something, and we'll do a couple of videos in between then as well. So yeah, catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.